Hi everybody, John here. So this video you're about to see, I partially made it a couple of weeks ago, and so I didn't get a chance to edit it and put it together before I was due to go away and spend a week in Sweden. And well, I'm back now, sitting here in the evening, putting this together, and I've sadly lost one or two of the files, so I'm going to have to sort of talk about some of these records and insert it in there. So look at this first bit first, and then you'll see me pop up in this shirt, in this environment, a bit later on in the video. Okay, so this is quite an unusual record, at least to me. I've never seen this before. It's quite special. It's called the Reggae Philharmonic Orchestra. It's a record that I picked up in a car boot sale. I just grabbed it because I thought it looked interesting. So basically what it is it's reggae music somehow sort of entwined and crossed with classical music. It sounds like a disaster really, doesn't it? But it's actually pretty good. So there's a guy called Michael Riley who apparently was a vocalist or a singer in a UK reggae band called Steel Pulse. This guy Michael Riley, what he did is he, as an experiment I suppose, I don't know, he gathered together as many black classical musicians as he could, or at least, you know, the best black classical musicians around him, and formed an orchestra, and he basically provided the vocals to this music. I don't know how long it lasted. I think they did 2 or 3 albums. I guess it's kind of off the wall, isn't it really? Where would you sort of pigeonhole this kind of stuff? Now when I was planning on making this particular video, I was umming and ahhing about whether to call it black music, because, you know, it could be perhaps misunderstood and people might take offence. But he actually heads up, this guy Michael Riley, he actually heads up an institution called Black Music Research Unit or something similar to that. He's the actual director of it apparently. And what they do is you know, stuff like this, I guess, I don't know. But yeah, so there's that record. Definitely going to do a needle drop of this. Kind of makes for an interesting listen.
Here I am, in this awful place.
This is another really cool record. Asagai. I'm not really sure how I'm going to pronounce this. Asagai. So it's a reissue of the first album by this band Reggae, and they are made up of 3 South Africans and 2 guys from Nigeria. Yeah, it's listed as being Afrobeat, and well, yeah, originally the album had a different cover. This is how it looked like before. And so when it was reissued on this contour, it came with a different cover, sadly. Now the second album this band produced actually had a Roger Dean designed cover, and I'm kind of inspired to get hold of that, but as far as I can see they go for hundreds of pounds, so well, I guess there aren't many of them around. But so this is basically you've heard of Orchestra, you know, that style of Afrobeat music. Well, this is a similar idea. It's a similar sort of style of music. In fact, I've even seen them described as being the second most popular Afrobeat band. I've never heard of it before, but the music's really, really interesting to listen to. I'm going to do a needle drop of this. Hope you enjoy.
Telephone girl, I've got your number. You've been recommended to me. You won't spend 2 nights in slumber. Gonna send it through right through me. I'm a businessman. I'll give you all I can. I'll make it worth your while. If you can make me smile. Telephone girl, I'm on my way. I'll be over late today.
So this is Diana Ross presents the Jackson 5. It's their first album, and what can I tell you about it really? Released on Tamla Motown. It's really just yeah, their first album really. I mean, it's just a marketing ploy, I guess, by Motown to present this brand new sort of band, the Jackson 5. Using the fame and celebrity of Diana Ross. It worked well for them because you know, they went on to bigger and better things, didn't they? Yeah, I picked this up at the car boot sale. I paid £1 for it. Yeah, I think the album was released in '69. This is an issue from 1970. Martha Reeves and the Vandellas, Tamla Motown, also MSP, Music for Pleasure. It's a charity shop find. Great stuff. All part of, you know, filling in my background knowledge of soul music, Motown music. These are a classic group, obviously. Dancing in the Street they did, and probably many more besides. So, yeah, I can't really tell you much more about it, except it's sort of become the soundtrack of our house at the moment. So, the funny story about this record is that I'd never heard of these people before. That I could tell that it was reggae. I picked it up for a pittance from a charity shop, and I sat down actually here at this desk cleaning this and watching VC videos, and I was watching a video by Rob Walker, and he was showing some singles, and he just at the moment as I pulled this one out of its sleeve to clean it, Rob Walker held up a single, and it was a single from this album, released from this album by this pair of girls. I thought that was an incredible coincidence. I'd never heard of them before, and yeah, there it was. Don't rate this very highly. I don't know much about reggae, but as far as I know, they're basically one-hit wonders. But it sounds a little bit like what Bananarama would sound like if they were going to do a reggae album. Yeah, I can't say much more than that. They're not very dynamic with their vocals. It's like they sing like a couple of girls in the back of a bus rather than being sort of close harmony or anything like that. But oh well, a good one for the collection anyway. Is a record by Slave. They were very much a funk group of their time. Don't know much about them, but yeah, I picked this up at a car boot sale for, I don't know, 50p or something. The cover's pretty damaged and messed up, got some scroll on it, and I wouldn't have picked it up unless these guys didn't all look pretty fabulous to listen to. So I brought it home, and I'm quite glad I did, because it's quite good. Yeah, I think I would bring home more of their records if they're at least as good as this. So yeah, glad to have that. Can do a little bit of a needle drop of this too, so you can see how they sound. Next I'm going to show, I got 3 Stevie Wonder albums. I'll show this one first. This is another one, Tamla Motown, on Music for Pleasure. I don't know, it's like a joint release, I guess. I don't know how they did that. This is Uptight, Everything All Right, the live album. Stevie Wonder. I don't know how I came by these. Just had them sitting in my inbox, can't remember where I got them from. It's live. Now we've got Stevie Wonder's Greatest Hits Volume 2, Tamla Motown. It's quite a nice record. although it focuses pretty much on his earlier stuff. I think this was released in the early 70s, very early 70s, 72 I think. So it contains, you know, hits from his period before his classic period, or his, I call it the brown period. And likewise this. Now this was apparently a limited edition release, Stevie Wonder anthology. It's got another name. Is it called The Long Road or something like that? I can't see it printed anywhere, but it's a treble album. And again, it focuses pretty much on his pre-classic period work. So I'm kind of, yeah, got all that one could possibly ever wish for on vinyl in terms of Stevie Wonder's earlier works, his earlier Motown work. So yeah, that's those. While I was in Sweden the last time, not just recently, but the time before I've been recently, I picked up a few records, and this is one of the ones I brought home. James Brown, best of. I have very little James Brown, which is such a shame, because I think he's somebody that I would really get into. Been enjoying this compilation a lot, and yeah, glad to have that. Also, I got this Motown Chartbusters 4, Volume 4. I've got one or two of these now. Yeah, James Griffiths has spoken quite liberally about this this sort of series of Motown compilations. So if I see them and they're in, you know, relatively good shape, then I bring them home. Often I see them and they're scratched up, but this is in really good shape. Great one to have. And also on that theme is that's soul, for people who love soul. I had to pick this up. This was from Sweden, and yeah, starting to listen to a bit of 60s soul and quite getting into it. And this is a really nice compilation. It's got all your classics, well, a lot of classics on here, and yeah, quite happy to have it. And then finally I'm going to show this one, Doggett Beat for Dancing Feet. I've been kicking around with this record for a while now, not knowing whether I'm going to keep it or not. Some of it's a bit kitschy, but there are moments on this that I actually quite like. So I think I will hang on to it, although where I'll file it, I'm not sure. Not really jazz. It's more sort of rock and roll, I would say. It sounds like, you know, a lot of it's played on a Wurlitzer, so it's quite special. But I'm going to do a needle drop of this, play out I think with this, and you'll see the groove that that this guy produces. Apparently is quite a big name. This is it Bill Doggett. Don't know much about him, but certainly a record to hang on to. Alright, well, thanks very much everybody. That's the last of this particular bunch I'm going to show. Check out my next video. Thanks very much. Bye.